Hello everyone, thank you for tuning into Vidiot Entertainment Studios for this episode of Vidiot Movie Reviews. I'm the Nerd Lust Daddy, and today we continue our series reviewing every North American released live-action video game film adaptation. And today we present to you a real doozy here as we review 2003's House of the Dead from notorious director Uwe Boll.
Oh, chit, futter.
Yeah, Pids, let's give it a chance though. You ready?
Cha, if we has to.
Don't worry, Pids, we'll make this as painless as possible. Now, House of the Dead released nationwide in theaters on October 10th, 2003 in an obvious attempt to capitalize on the Halloween season. At this time, the game series had seen 3 games released: House of the Dead, House of the Dead 2, and House of the Dead 3. We will loosely use all of these for comparison, as the movie itself is not a direct adaptation of any of them and instead was described by Boll as a prequel to the original game.
Chit, futter.
Yeah, it's looking bleak, Pids, but who knows, maybe it will align well and fit in the universe. So let's see if the plot aligns with any of the games at all. Now, the video game House of the Dead revolved around a biochemist and geneticist named Dr. Curian. He was seeking a way to control life and death so that he could find a cure for his terminally ill son Daniel. He invents a DNA editing machine called the bioreactor and begins performing forbidden and inhumane experiments in his pursuit to find a cure. His team of researchers abandons him due to disagreeing with his methods, and this ends up driving him insane to the point of wanting to destroy humanity. He then uses the bioreactor to create creatures, commonly referred to as zombies within media, even though the creator of House of the Dead has refuted this, and he unleashes them upon the remaining staff within Curian Mansion. Sophie Richards, a researcher who had been assisting Dr. Curian, contacts Thomas Rogan, her fiancé, and a member of the government agency AMS to request help. Rogan and his partner G go to the Curian Mansion to investigate what has happened there and attempt to locate Sophie. This becomes known as the Curian Mansion Incident. Now, in the sequel House of the Dead 2, AMS Agent G has gone to Venice, Italy to further investigate the Curian Mansion incident. A creature outbreak happens in Venice, and upon discovering remnants of operations that Dr. Curian had in Italy, G disappears. AMS agents James Taylor and Gary Stewart are sent to Italy to investigate this disappearance of G and evacuate Venice. They learn that Caleb Goldman, the financier of Dr. Curian's operations at Curian Mansion, has taken over Dr. Curian's research and unleashed the horde of creatures upon Venice. James and Gary then continue their fight through Venice in an attempt to locate Goldman and stop his plans to continue Dr. Curian's research and unleash creatures upon the world. Finally, in House of the Dead 3, the creature infestation has become overwhelming and spread across the world, causing the collapse of human civilization. Thomas Rogan, leading a paramilitary group, goes to an EFI research facility that was once co-owned by Dr. Curian in an attempt to further investigate what has happened in the world and attempt to find a way to stop it. Rogan and second-in-command Captain Dan Taylor are attacked by Death, a creature that protects the EFI facility. Taylor is killed, and Rogan is assisted by an unknown person, escapes, and disappears. Rogan's former partner G and Lisa Rogan, daughter of Thomas Rogan and Sophie Richards, head to the EFI facility to investigate what has happened and try to find Thomas Rogan. Now, the film House of the Dead, this has a plot that involves a group of college students attempting to reach an island called Isla del Muerte, or Island of Death, in order to attend a rave that's being held there. Upon arriving at the dock where they are supposed to board the boat that would take them to the island, they discover that they are late and the boat is left without them. They see another boat docked there, talk to the captain, Victor Kirk, and pay him to take them to the island. Upon arriving, they discover the rave camp is in shambles and signs showing that foul play may have happened. Pretty much all but one of the students completely ignores these signs and decides to stay and continue to party. The group ends up being attacked by Cynthia, a friend who has been turned into a creature, and are saved by Jordan Casper, a Coast Guard officer who is tracking Captain Kirk under suspicion of smuggling. Kirk then tells everyone the story of the island, revealing that in the 15th century, a Spanish Catholic priest named Castillo Sermano had been banished for performing experiments exploring the possibility of achieving immortality. While being transported for banishment, Castillo escapes, murders everyone on the ship, and flees to the island where he ends up perfecting and creating his immortality serum. The group of college students, along with Kirk and Casper, then decide they should try to make their way back to Kirk's boat and attempt to escape. I think it's fair to say here that this film in absolutely no way follows or even accurately precludes the events of the House of the Dead video game series. It totally throws out the window the fact that Dr. Curian was the originator of the creatures, that it was done with a DNA editing machine, and that it was done in an attempt to cure his son of a terminal illness. The plot honestly has absolutely no connection to the games except for just a few half-assed attempts at the very end of the movie that we will discuss later. This gets an easy chit futter for me. Pids, your thoughts on the plot?
Chit futter.
Let's see how the setting and world representation holds up. Now we've got an island setting that's inhabited by zombie-like creatures. The creatures do act accurately to the games as they are fast-moving and display at least some low-level intelligence in being able to wield weapons and work together. They even leap through the air like in the games, but it's hilariously bad at one point when, as you can see here, the springboard the actor used to leap into the air is clearly visible in the shot. Also, the creature makeup and costumes are above average at best. We have almost zero world character representation except for at the very end of the movie when the AMS shows up and we get introduced to Thomas, Rogan, and G. This happens in the span of only about a minute to a minute and a half. I'm not kidding here, it's that quick and over with. We also get one more half-assed surprise reveal of a character from the video games during this scene, but I'll discuss that in the characters section. The video games are a first-person light gun shooter, so do we at least get lots of gunplay? Yes, but it's laughable at best. There are instances of characters shooting the creatures with one type of gun, and then the camera will cut to another angle of the same exact character, and magically, they have a different type of gun in their hands. Even worse, at times in lieu of using proper scene cuts and special effects, they literally use video splices from the video game to represent scene changes or damage to the characters or creatures. This happens numerous times throughout the film to nauseating effect. Setting and world representation for me is a serious chit futter. Pids.
Chit futter.
Alright, let's cover the starring cast here. We'll start off with Simon. Portrayed by Tyrone Lizzo, who is mostly known for acting in B-movies like Dinotopia and other Uwe Boll movies such as Blood Rain 2 Deliverance and Far Cry. Here he plays the horror movie stereotype of the dumb but handsome member of the group. He definitely exudes that personality as he frequently throughout the film ignores the signs of disaster around him until it builds enough to be blatantly obvious. The portrayal is certainly passable though, so he gets a passing hawoo. Pids, thoughts on Simon?
Hawoo.
Jordan Casper, here played by Ellie Cornell, who actually has creed within the horror scene, having played Rachel Carruthers in Halloween 4 The Return of Michael Myers and Halloween 5 The Revenge of Michael Myers, as well as acting in numerous other horror films. Here she portrays a Coast Guard officer who has a past history with and is in pursuit of Captain Victor Kirk for suspected smuggling. This performance is actually pretty good, which I'm sure is due to her long-time experience acting within the horror film scene. She comes off as confident, strong, and having a chip on her shoulder for Kirk. She's actually one of the very few highlights of this film, so she gets a hawoo from me. Pids, what did you think of Casper?
Hawoo.
Salish, played by Clint Howard, brother of famed Happy Days actor and film director Ron Howard, He has a long list of acting credits, typically as a character actor, and has appeared in many B-horror movies. Here he is the first mate to Captain Victor Kirk, and is portrayed as unsettling and creepy. Now, given his long-standing acting history and experience, I expected his performance to be very good, but unfortunately it is not, and it's not Howard's fault in my opinion. It's that the dialogue he's given is absolute trash, and he doesn't get much screen time, vanishing after the first act, and then reappearing for just a moment during the third act. I have to give this character a chit futter. Pids, your impression of Salish.
Chit futter.
Captain Victor Kirk. Jorgen Prochnow plays the boat captain here, and you'll remember him from our review of Wing Commander. He has a long list of acting credits, including hits like Das Boot, Beverly Hills Cop 2, and The Da Vinci Code. He really acts his ass off here, working with what little he's given. And he definitely portrays a confident, cocky, sneaky, and skilled take-no-guff smuggler to the fullest. He's another one of the few bright spots in this film, and certainly gets a hawoo from me. Pids, what did you think?
Hawoo!
Alicia, played by Ona Grauer, mostly known for her long list of television acting credits including Sliders, Supernatural, and Arrow, to name just a few. She also appears in another Uwe Boll film, Alone in the Dark, and is Artemis in Percy Jackson and the Olympians' The Lightning Thief. Here she is one of the main protagonists and the heroine of the movie. She's tough, commanding, and shows a take-charge leadership attitude, as well as being experienced in fencing, which factors in during the finale. This portrayal is actually pretty dang good, and I enjoyed the screen time with her. She gets a hawoo. Pids?
Hawoo!
Rudy, portrayed here by Jonathan Cherry, mostly known for some TV roles as well as Willie Higgins in the B-movies Wolf Cop and Another Wolf Cop. His most notable role seems to be playing Marco Belchior in the Sean William Scott vehicle and sequel to Goon, Last of the Enforcers. Here he's our main protagonist, a confident leader of the group, and apparently, as revealed in one scene, well-versed in science. The performance here is good, but I have a huge problem with this character. During the final scene where the AMS shows up, they ask him what his name is. Here he reveals his full name is Rudolph Curien. That's right, he's supposed to be the son of Dr. Curien from the video game series, even though that makes absolutely no sense since it doesn't align with the game's canon at all. This character has got to get a hard chit futter from me. Pids, your opinion on Rudy?
Chit futter.
Alright, let's put this thing out of our misery and give our final verdicts. Pids, what's your verdict on this movie?
Absolute fucking chit futter.
I emphatically agree with the Pids. The plot is terrible and doesn't align with the games. The script and lines the actors are given are awful. The direction is incompetent. The weird multiple instances of continuity errors, coupled with the strange decision to cut in clips from the games, is laughable at best. This movie is a complete and utter chit futter. At most I can give it a 2Z out of 10Z. It gets 1 point for actually existing and being viewable, though I would not recommend watching it. The second point is for the very limited so bad it's good moments, especially a big group fight scene about 51 minutes in that is so plagued with every single problem present throughout this film that I was literally laughing at how bad it is. There really is no redeemable reason to watch this absolute chit futter. Avoid it at all costs. I want to thank you all once again for tuning in to Vidiot Entertainment Studios for this episode of Vidiot Movie Reviews. If you enjoyed our video, please be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and share to show your support. As always, I'm the Nerd Lust Daddy, reminding you all to not be chit futters to each other. Body autonomy for all, reproductive rights for women, and peace, love, and happiness to all. Pids, get us the hell out of here.
Thank goodness. Bye-bye, everyone.